Welcome back to episode 11 of the Seen It All podcast. Again, we are live with myself, Jinx, and Yordi is here.
Yes, sir. And this time I chose the movie. I was really excited about this one. You guys might have heard of it, might have seen it. It was trending a lot on my TikTok for the major plot twist. There were a lot of people posting, reacting to the twist. My sister reacting to the twist. So this was one that was already spoiled for me, but Jacob hadn't heard of it, so I was so excited to see him react to the twist.
Yeah.
So of course the movie I'm referring to is the Netflix movie Swap.
Swapped on Netflix. I believe it either won an Oscar or it won Best Animated Film. I just know Michael B. Jordan is practically the lead in this film or this animated film. I just can't remember the award it won.
I'm fact checking right now.
Okay.
And it's true. Michael B. Jordan.
He won an Oscar for it?
I was just saying he be Jordan.
Gotcha.
Let me. I'll keep into it, but you keep going.
Gotcha. So we watched this movie on Netflix per Yordi's, recommendation, and it was surprisingly pretty good. And I think as we get more talkative about it, we're gonna kind of break it down on what we thought about it and what or how it stands against obviously the classic, those major companies who also make animated films, and what we thought they did good with the film. So kind of ramping this discussion back up, or prior to this, you know what, Yordi, how's life been for you before we get into the movie?
I like this. Oh, life's been pretty good. You know, wife gone, and
she's not dead. She's not dead.
No, she's not dead. She's in Colorado. Now, also to clarify, that's not why my life is good. But I've just, I was telling her mom, it's one of those things I never wish for her to be away, but I can make the most of the time when she is. And so I get to do things and just kind of like take care, hang out. Just have a moment to really let myself reset. So it's good.
Yeah.
I was, like I said, I had free time to be watching the movies with Jacob. Also do some cleaning and playing games, just relaxing. But I am so excited for her to be back. Nothing really new in the developments of my world, though. Just really plugging along and work.
Yeah.
I've been trying some new trends, intermittent fasting, which Jacob, I didn't text you today. I didn't eat until noon today.
Good.
And I only had one source of caffeine, my matcha in the morning. So doing pretty good. I'm on the 3-day train right now.
It's good, man.
I'm going to be keeping it up. How about you, though? I mean, kid okay? Any any anniversary thing going on?
Yeah, so me and my wife hit 1 year on Sunday. I worked Sunday, so obviously had to delay that till tonight. We had a good dinner, and the daughter is doing great. She's, as good as a newborn can be, little to no sleep, but at the end of the day, it's all gonna work out, and the memories is all that matters at the end of the day. So getting into this movie, Yordi had seen a lot of it. I had seen that it was recommended on Netflix, but outside of that, I probably wasn't gonna pick up the remote and just consciously choose to watch that. But I want to talk about how, and just in general, how you thought this movie stood almost like as an indie film, because it's from Skylight. I'm not saying Skylight or whatever it's called.
Skydance, because I just read it.
Isn't a small company, but obviously it's not Pixar. It's not DreamWorks or anything like that.
Right.
So
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You have your big hitters. It's kind of interesting. I just read. Apparently, it wasn't received well by.
Goodness.
They from the Wikipedia I just read, which absolutely is true.
I didn't edit that.
Apparently people are thinking that comparing it to Hoppers, which just came out, which I haven't seen.
I guess it did probably come out exactly when that came out.
Pretty close, and people were like, "It's in Hopper's shadow." I haven't seen Hoppers.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of, maybe I don't keep up with animation companies as much as I should. Not really, I don't care. But I thought it was really pretty. I mean, when we
Yeah.
first opened up with colors and everything,
It looked really
it
good.
looked really good to me. I don't really know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like there comes a time when Pixar and DreamWorks, they've got the name and their quality almost is going down in a little
Yeah.
bit of ways. I remember, and I also haven't seen this movie. And they're like, oh my god, this guy hasn't seen it. He's not seen it all. We're working on it. That's what we do. Turning Red, though, I knew was controversial as a film.
Yeah.
And like animation quality going down a little bit and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I feel like this one they really focused on being beautiful. I was watching it the entire time. I enjoyed the story. Sometimes you don't have to get too deep or different in a story. The baseline of it was empathy, which is like a lifelong lesson across so many films.
Yeah.
Understanding another group. And it was kind of on the nose at some points, but I mean, other than that, though, I thought it was something where I was excited for a smaller than Pixar or DreamWorks company to be making something I appreciated a lot.
Yeah. And to kind of just piggyback off that, like compared to like the big Pixar and DreamWorks, and it's going to be hard to fight those big brands and for the box office numbers for them, just because the names. You have Walt Disney's animation studios, and that's what they do. That's what they've been known for since Walt Disney was still around, and DreamWorks obviously with Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, Over the Hedge, classic movies that that span probably our generation and maybe a little older. But to me, I kind of agree where all these movies are kind of looking very similar now, to where it's, especially this is where I kind of differ, where I prefer the hand drawn animation, which, because like you can kind of tell like somebody's hard work went into that. And I'm not saying I don't like Pixar movies, but I'm saying like the old like Renaissance era of Disney movies like Pocahontas, Lion King, you could see the work hundreds of people worked on throughout the film, and you're like, wow, they all came together and used their artist talents to make this, and obviously it's going to span generations. But overall, this movie, I think, compared to the others, it looks really good. I can't imagine like animation getting any much better, just because how much can you really get better when you're animating something in general?
Yeah.
When it's not meant to look like a picture. You know what I mean? Like if I take a picture on my phone, I'm not animating that.
You're saying there's a line where it's like animated for a reason.
Yeah, and I think you can only go so far with that, where we've came from, Toy Story being the first computer generated or computer edited film, to now where I feel like I could make a film on Google Gemini in about an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree.
And I think it held up well, I think, to other studios, and it's good to see I guess that quote unquote third party make an animated film.
Yeah, and I think like we might be going too deep in this question, but I think that in response, like I agree with that. I feel like you can only go so far with animation, but you can do what's right in your animation style and push that to the limit. I feel like style, like one of my favorite shows, Invincible. Really, I love the show, love the story. There's been in some of the later seasons, it's a specific style. Like I'd say it looks like how Invincible's animated, but people have been pointing out they kind of been getting lazy. Some of the frames and things. So it's like, I think some of these bigger companies, this is produced through Amazon, I think.
Okay.
Some of these bigger companies like Pixar, you might start missing your picture. So you don't necessarily need this greatest technology like Jacob was saying, or like you could do hand-drawn stuff, but you got to focus your energy on doing it really well,
Yeah,
and that matters most.
and I also think storytell like to merge into our next topic. I think storytelling also can almost pick up for the slack of the animation, obviously, because you're there for the storyline, you're there for the ad, like what you saw in the preview, whatever. So, what did you think of the plot itself?
Yeah,
And you can kind of give a rundown of what the movie's about, because on the Seen It All podcast, we're going to assume you've seen it all, of course.
yeah, absolutely. So, spoilers alert incoming. The movie kind of starts out. Shoot, I don't even remember the Puku's name.
Ollie.
Ollie.
Boom.
Yeah. Off the dome. Jacob's gonna always roast me in that. We could watch any famous movie and I'll be like, I don't remember what Leonardo DiCaprio was playing.
Jack.
Yeah.
Jack Dawson.
Wait, what's the name of the ship?
The
Anyways,
Titan. Sorry.
hey, but yeah, I think for just a little bit of a rundown, Ollie is this little. It looks like a little chipmunk gopher fella. It's kind of. It opens with him being creative, inventive, and he's always exploring. He explores and he shares with this tropical bird called a Javan. And it turns out the Javans start eating his food source that he showed them how to access, and like kind of destroys his island's food source, and his family's gonna starve. It opens like that. It also opens with a little like lecture talking about how like all these animals used to be able to talk together, and everything was working really well when they all talked, when they all communicated. It was pretty on the nose for understanding each other.
Yeah.
Things work better when you it was a little on the
Putting
nose.
yourself in other shoes.
Yes, swapping over. Yeah, swapped.
Swapping shoes.
Yeah. So Jacob is wearing my Birks and I'm wearing his boots right now.
Yes, we just swapped.
So we can understand each
and
other.
that is the storyline.
Yeah, that's pretty much kind of how it works. There's these little like purple glowing
Orbs
that come from this special creature called a Zoe. And all the Zoe kind of got killed off in the area or removed because the antagonists, these fire wolves, were just claiming the valley for themselves and wanting to control it. So they disrupted the communication. Anyways, Ollie ends up finding one of these orbs, and it turns him into a Javan. It turns you into what the last one you spoke. So he was like cursing at the Javan. Anyways, he becomes the bird, and he's like, "Oh, this sucks. I hate being this bird because they suck." But then he like talks to the other birds, and it's the one that he shared the food with, and he got to learn about their hardships. He got to learn how cool it was to fly. She turns into his species, the Puku, and she learns about their really cool nose sight that they have, and learns that she made his island starve, and so they kind of are like, okay, we love each other now. And they're along the way. Oh my god, the spoil! There's this dumb fish named Boogle.
The Boogle by Tracy Morgan,
and he's helping them out. Boogle this, Boogle that, as thick as a board, and then Boogle gets to turn into whatever he wants, and he turns into the firewolf, and he says, "There was never Boogle." Chills, cinematic masterpiece moment. And then they take turns turning into these, or they resolve themselves to get rid of him once and for all, to have their kind of way with it. Exposition, falling action, denouement, movie over.
Yeah. And well, I guess what I think about the plot, what it reminds me of is like a mix of Brother Bear to me, because when you have that transitioning of maybe not human to animal, but animal to animal, and I think everybody's going to kind of think of that.
Very Brother Bear.
Yeah. And to me, the antagonist part of this this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but maybe it's kind of accurate. The antagonist of this film and how they played his story reminds me of exactly King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph.
Mm,
Like
Yeah.
almost in par
I've seen that comparison. Yep.
with that, and which is good. I like Wreck-It Ralph; it's great, and I think the storytelling, like, it kept me engaged. It was a nice film to look at. Like, the characters were good. Michael B. Jordan, I think, did a great job, and obviously he won an award, so everybody else thinks the same. I just think, like, I just don't know, like, what I would change though. Like, I think it was a pretty well-rounded script, and like
Yeah.
it kind of included that sadness and kind of emotional attachment to the characters, but at the same time, you're like, oh, at the beginning, you're like, oh, Ollie's an idiot for letting that bird just
Yeah, you
eat
roasted on
his.
him hard. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that's what I thought about the plot itself.
Yeah. I mean, going into it, I agree. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. You see these fantastic animated movies. Um, like I really like Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
Those movies are crazy good to me. Those aren't made for kids. This movie with the story, the message, we're watching a good movie. It's meant for kids.
Yeah.
Like we're not watching it as full adults wanting to be.
yeah,
But I think with the twist and everything, it got adults to watch it. I wanted to show you it,
yeah,
and you end up saying, "Hey, this is a great movie."
Yeah.
I was kind of talking to Jacob. It's like, man, like kind of collecting your movies that you're gonna have for your kid to watch.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. My brother has that ongoing. He watched a Christmas movie called Klaus, and he was like, "I can't wait for my kids to watch." Like he's kind of like collecting it for
Yeah.
later use. It's kind of an interesting thing.
That's
So
funny.
maybe we'll do a segment for like no matter what, even if we're watching Saw, it's like, will you watch this with your kid?
Good point. I like
But
that.
yeah, they I think they did a really good job with the plot. I was engaged. I was following along. There weren't many things to where I was like, oh, that's a plot hole. But
Yeah.
I thought it was a fair, well-rounded movie.
Yeah. So I guess we got kind of two more things I want to hit about. First off, what animal in their universe would you choose to be?
Oh, very important question. There are a few to choose from. Just kind of going over the Javans or the birds that can fly.
Or the pine cone?
The pine hedgehog.
Yeah, whatever
that
those were.
they didn't really do anything. They look like pine cones.
Yeah.
The root snakes.
Those were sick.
Field vibration. Those things were those were pretty sick. They had their fire wolf, the boogles, which are the fish. They had the other tree wolf.
Yeah.
They had the big bears. I know nothing about.
They looked like rocks.
Yeah, rock bears. They were sitting on a waterfall. The deer trees.
Yeah, they look like Pokemon.
Yeah, there you go. I was just you took the mouth right out of my words. Jacob kept on being like, these are like Pokemon. Which, to be fair, there is a deer tree Pokemon.
What's the name of it?
It's called Sawsbuck.
I think I have seen that.
Yeah. There's probably a rock bear. That's fair. Yep. Anyways, I think honestly, I previously was saying Boogle a lot, just because I thought the name was so funny, Boogle. But Javan was just really cool. Being able to fly like that looked really awesome. They made flying look really pretty in that movie, so
yeah,
want to do that. And you get to deprive a population of their food source.
Jeez.
Hey, whoa.
Sensitive topic here. I don't know. I think what was the non-fire wolves called?
I don't think they ever actually said. Yeah, they were like tree wolves,
or like the quote-unquote fire wolf.
Yeah, I think
the
they were
entire movie. That's what they thought.
I think they were fire wolves that were like changed
Hmm.
into like a more passive form.
Yeah,
like tree. They were like shrubs, bush wolf.
I guess that's what I'd be, or is it the Zor? Is that the Zor, whatever they're called, the big elephant things.
Oh, Zoe, yeah.
Zoe. Oh yeah, I was a
those
little off. Those things look cool, but like at the same time you have this weird power. But
yeah. Also, yeah. Everyone else, I can smell really good.
Yeah, they have like
I have the
superpowers.
power to change your entire physical being. Kind of.
Like, what did the snakes get? What was their like?
They just sense vibration.
Interesting.
Which is like, I mean, I guess I can do that kind of.
Yeah. So I guess we can kind of talk about. So this is a section called Real Reviews. Also, give it your review 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5, excuse me. And would you watch this with your kid in the future?
Yeah, I like that. I just want to say, I feel like everyone needs to understand my ratings are probably going to be a lot more inconsistent than Jacob's. I've said that before. I feel like Jacob's pretty good, pretty consistent. So if you want consistency, get Jacob. If you want how I feel on a random day on a movie I haven't seen another movie like it in a while. I haven't watched that many animated movies lately.
Yeah.
I thought this one was fun, easygoing, pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and say I would watch this with my kid for sure.
Yeah.
I could see myself saving this away for a 3 or 4 year old.
Yeah.
And it just being good. I like that it's on Netflix, so it's kind of like free since we pay for Netflix, but it's kind of like free. I'm not. I think I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna out of 10.
Out of 10, okay.
Yeah, I'm changing up my scale.
All right.
Because I need to be a little bit more precise.
Okay.
So I guess I'll do 3.5 stars.
Out of 10?
3. No, 3. I
like, holy cow! You own them. Holy cow!
It's 7 out of 10.
They're in a business.
It's 7 out of 10. I cut it back to the 3.5 out of 5.
Golly.
That movie was, it was great. It was good. It's not like Shawshank Redemption. It's not like.
I hope it's not better than Shawshank.
It's not blowing your mind.
Not better than Interstellar.
Yeah, but still, for what it was a great movie.
I agree.
I really enjoyed it. I would do a 3.5 plus, a 4.5 or 4 minus, in between there.
Okay.
And you can bounce around in that range.
I think for me, I'm gonna stay at out of 5. You know what? I'll go out of 10. Yeah.
And change it to out of 5 halfway through.
I'll say 7, maybe.
Out of 5?
No. Maybe like 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Like, it was good. Again, I would not have just gone out of my way to watch it. Probably, I needed somebody to say like, hey, we should watch this movie to get into it. And like, I enjoyed the movie. It was good. I'd recommend, like, if you're bored or if you have kids and you just want to turn it on, I highly recommend that. And I would watch this with my kid, maybe like you said, 3 or 4 years old, and when they can kind of pay attention. But overall, yeah, I think 6.5, 7 is our range.
6, 7. Hey.
All right. So, any closing comments, Big Yorty?
Yeah, no, I don't. I just, it's kind of fun. I feel like this was one of the movies. It was more like spur of the moment.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And I love these kinds of little pickups. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy fatherly schedule to watch.
Yeah.
No, I'm just excited to see where we go from here.
Yeah. Well, it's always a joy to actually get to do this in person. And you can check out the Seen It All podcast here on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or it's also on YouTube as well. Go check it out. Thank you for all those who are watching. And until the next episode, you've seen it all.